So one of the biggest things about this episode of Dragon Ball Super is the fact that the ending revealed who Goku Black is. Now, if you didn't see my spoiler video or you don't want to get spoiled, then definitely, you know, I'm going to be talking about it. But essentially, we get the revelation, which I thought it was going to be in episode 61 based on the little info that was put out from Shonen Jump or whatever. But no, we found out once again that Goku Black is indeed Zama's. He changed minds and bodies with Goku. So I'm kind of wondering, okay, what happened to that Goku? Was it that he took the dead body of Goku? Because remember, he did grab his heart at that one point, but it could have been something irrelevant to that particular event, why he grabbed his chest. It could have been something to do with him being dragged in the time portal or whatever. But honestly, if it wasn't for that bit in the episode, I would have said this was a more slower episode of Dragon Ball Super. A lot of it was kind of just them talking about, the future's gonna be different, and especially the bit with Trunks talking to little Trunks and telling him like the history of what happened with the androids. It was nice insight in a sense to know that little Trunks and probably Goten as well had no idea of what happened prior to them being born or them getting older, because I think Trunks was around like a year old at that particular point when the androids and cell shit happened or whatever. But they never really got the story of everything that went down back in the day. So I guess in that regard, okay, we found out that they don't know that, but it definitely took quite a bit of time away from the episode when we was getting that, and of course Pilaf and his gang chiming in here or there. So that was a good chunk of the episode where it was kind of like just a lot of exposition. Hey, let's sit down and talk or whatever, let's eat food and stuff like that. So in that regard, yeah, a little bit more of a slower episode of Super up until the last part of the episode or whatever, when they finally went to the future. That's when I was like, okay, shit's about to go down. And immediately Vegeta, like, that's one of the best things about Vegeta. Like, he's like, yo, I'm out for blood. You got me last time, I'm coming in again. Although to be fair, when they do have a full-on battle, Vegeta and Goku Black, I'm not sure how Vegeta's gonna be able to fare in this fight, simply because, again, how much could he have possibly trained or changed in a sense to be able to keep up with Black this time around? I mean, Black did sneak him a bit with the little lightsaber or whatever the hell that he had on his arm and stuff like that to stab him last time, but Vegeta, I don't know how he's gonna be able to get over him this time around compared to last time when, you know, he got his ass kicked. One of the big things about the episode as well, of course, is the Trunks X Mai stuff, which for me, it was like, hey, I kind of figured much that they were gonna have this little relationship. It felt as though this was, again, him getting a bone, the universe throwing Trunks a bone after all the hell that he went through between the androids and Cell and then Black and Zamos and stuff like that. It was like, I kind of figured much they were gonna be together, and it felt like a little cheap way in a way to kind of, you know, give them a kiss instead of like just it being a normal kiss. It's like, yes, I'm gonna crunch up this bean in my mouth and then spit it in her mouth. I was like, Trunks, you into some kinky shit there, bruh? And of course, like I said, the end of the episode is what saved it from it completely just being like a little filler type of ish episode in a way to, okay, we got progression, they're back in the future, the fight is about to go down, and we found out to a certain extent exactly what Goku Black is, that he used the Dragon Balls or whatever to wish his mind in there and his body as well. So now we just got to get a little bit more context to the backstory as to how there's essentially two Zamases. Like, did he wish for another version of himself, or did he happen to run into himself in like some sort of time loop? So there's a couple of questions there, but it was still a good episode of Dragon Ball Super, don't get me wrong. It just felt a little bit slower than most of the other episodes we got. And I mean, honestly, I think that it's a huge mistake to bring Bulma there. Like, granted, we know Bulma ain't gonna die. We know how Dragon Ball Z ends, and obviously this is before the end of Z. We know Bulma's not gonna die, not our Bulma, but I still nonetheless think that it's like a risk bringing her there, and if anything, it's giving them more to worry about. So if anything, Bulma probably should have stayed back in our timeline and not venture off into the future into a deadly situation. And you know, I was thinking with this episode and them slowly giving Trunks more things that is going to be good in his life, like, you know, him and Mai, although Mai probably should have been the big one as well. I wouldn't be surprised if in this timeline he searches for the Super Dragon Balls and actually gets his mother back. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happens. They wish Bulma back to life and Trunks has a little decent life. Like, how would you guys feel if that ultimately happened? If Trunks actually gathered the Super Dragon Balls and wished for his mother to be back, or hell, wished for everybody in the Z-verse that died. If the Super Dragon Balls are that extremely strong, he could wish for everybody that died, you know, from the androids and stuff like that, to come back to life so that he could have a truly good and happy ending. Personally, I think it should stay as is. Him and Mai, I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's a lot better than kind of unraveling everything that was done to his timeline. It will feel as though, and of course, again, the revelation about Zama's with Black and stuff like that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel as though it's cheap? Are you like dissatisfied? Again, it was one of the options. It was always an option that somehow, some way, and the hints were there as well about Zama's being inside that body. He said many times, I'm starting to get used to this body, this power. So we knew it was something inhabiting Goku's body. We just didn't know exactly what it was. So we got the revelation. It's not the most craziest thing in the world. It was kind kind of, to a certain degree, obvious. It was just like we were looking at other things like it could be a lot deeper than that, but it was the obvious choice. And your overall thoughts of the episode? I'd say it was still a very good, or good to a very good, maybe 7.5 to an 8. The ending is what really stole the episode with the revelation and them finally going back to the future and, you know, the Trunks and Mai stuff. And your overall thoughts. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.